Hi folks, Rodney back again with another 2022 Tundra video. I'm going to go over some of the questions that have been coming up pretty common in the comment section there on my YouTube videos, and then I want to go on ahead and show you a couple safety features that I actually gave you false information. So I'll go over that here in just a moment. Also, I'm going to switch the camera around here. If anybody's looking for a tonneau cover, so I just put this tonneau cover on yesterday. It is a rough country tri-folding tonneau cover. $699. ordered directly from them. It took about 2 weeks. I know the supply and demand right now, there's a lot of companies that are kind of short on having the supplies and inventory that they need to get out to the customers. But anyway, it is a great way to secure items if you have it. Obviously you've got the locking tailgate now, but if that's something you're interested in, have any questions, please let me know how I can help. All right, I'm going to jump in the truck here. All right, as soon as the screen gets ready or gets finished loading up there, I'm going to talk about something that I gave false information on, and I do apologize about that. So I'm going to show you here. So turn the stereo down. So right here, this will actually turn on your lane departure. So if you watch the screen, you can see where it comes on there. If you hit it again, the lane trace assist will come on. And then if you hit it again, it goes back to just a regular steering assist, which is your lane departure that helps pull you back into your lane. Now, I had a viewer watch the video, and he says, my comment was that you don't have the ability to turn off the lane departure with the new 2022 Tundra. And I actually saw another reviewer say the same thing. But anyway, what he told me is if you push and hold the button, it will actually shut it off. And I tried it and it didn't work. So I was a little confused about that. But playing yesterday, I realized what he was saying. So if you push the button and hold it, and so I'm going to show you there, like I said, it will toggle through and go through your lane trace assist or lane centering. But then if you go back and if you push and hold the button, so I'm just pushing and holding it, it will eventually turn off. And that's what he was talking about. So you are able to go on ahead and turn that feature off. One of the nice things about the 2022 Tundra is that you have the Safety Sense 2.5. So it does have some additional features with it. But there again, the lane centering is part of that. So I'm going to flip the camera on here. Made a little cheat sheet here of things that keep coming up. Make a quick adjustment here. Things that keep coming up in questions. So one of them, a lot of people keep saying that because they've switched from the V8 to the V6, a lot of people have issues with that. And they keep saying that the Tundra has just become, their phrase, crap. Well, it's not. Let me kind of explain a couple things. I'm going to go back to when I first got into the car business, and this goes back into the mid-90s. When you saw a Toyota product, you typically thought of a vehicle that, number one, was very dependable, but it was actually more designed or more catered to an older clientele. The colors, you know, were, I would say, something your grandfather would drive. And look at me, I am one now. But anyway, in that sense, it was just, like I said, it was catered to an older generation. Well, in the last 5 years, they've really started changing things to get to a much broader audience. The colors are different. The technology is changed dramatically. The cosmetics of the feature inside, or the vehicle inside and out, is totally different. And so when people talk about dependability, number one, these people are talking because they've seen a couple issues come up. The wastegate seems to be an issue. A lot of people think that the V6 is not going to be near as dependable as what the V8 was, but only time will tell. The one thing that you can't deny is it does get quite a bit better fuel economy. It does have more performance. I think that if those people would take the time, and I've said this before, if they'll take the time to drive the vehicle, they may have a different opinion. But it's also going to take time before people will actually see the longevity and the reliability of the vehicle. So technology, like I said, technology has come so far. Back when I started in the car business, if a vehicle had 2 airbags, AM/FM radio with CD, and air conditioning, it had quite a bit. Well, let's just kind of talk about technology for a moment. So, you know, you have Safety Sense 2.5, so you've got lane departure, you've got lane centering, You have pre-collision system that can stop the vehicle all by itself. If you happen to don't notice somebody that stopped in front of you, you do have auto dimming headlamps, and that's your button right there. But then you also have the adaptive cruise control, so it will keep that same safe distance when it's set. And then if somebody slows down in front of you, you keep that same safe distance and slow down with them, but then you also pick your speed back up as they do as well. So, you know, in addition to that, you'll see you got 2, 4, 6, 8 airbags. You know, you can't even compare the way vehicles used to be compared to what they are now. In the truck alone, you've got heated and cooled seats. You've got dual climate control. You know, this one has the heated mirrors. We talked about the rear view mirror. You got your home link on the bottom, so you can program in a garage door opener. You've also got the digital rear view mirror in case you have cargo in the bed there and it blocks your view out the back. You got the panoramic sunroof. The rear window, still a Crew Max feature. Also has the ability to completely roll all the way down, so it's a really cool feature, and everybody has loved that. Electronic emergency brake. You got trailer backup assist. You also have, and it's I know it's going to be the shutter rate is going to mess it up, and so it's probably going to be blinking or flashing through there. But you've also got your straight path assist, so when you're backing up, it shows you exactly where the ball of the truck is, and definitely makes it easier when you're connecting to a trailer. You know, everybody keeps talking about fuel economy. I did a 115-mile round trip on the highway, and that was pretty easy. I was able to set the cruise at 70 miles an hour, and it was pretty simple as far as, you know, calculating what the fuel economy was. I wanted to do the same thing for a combined fuel economy, and I actually did that, but then I realized that in town or combined fuel economy is going to be very subjective. A lot of it depends on how fast you actually accelerate. Shut this off for a moment. It's going to depend on how fast you accelerate. One of the things about the fuel economy is that anytime you're in the boost on these V6 twin turbo, you're not getting great fuel economy. The reason for is it has to give the proper air and fuel mixture, and so if you're forcing more air into the intake and into the cylinders, you're going to have the additional fuel. And obviously when you step on the gas, the motor seems very effortless. It just accelerates quickly, and so, you know, anytime you're in that situation, you're not going to get the best fuel economy. Now out on the highway, it's forcing enough air in there that it's carrying that load, and it's pretty effortless, and you do get great fuel economy out on the highway. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I was averaging about 17.6, and what you see here right now, the 16.1, that's mostly running around town. And there again, like I said, accelerating on and off on ramps and from stoplights, it drastically decreases that fuel economy. But anyway, I did try to do a fuel economy test, and once I went and fill up a gas, I didn't fill up the same pump, so, you know, they shut off at different times, and wasn't getting anything accurate on the gauge there. It told me that I got an average of 17.6. Well, when I did it on the highway and I calculated my mileage, it actually came out 1 mile per gallon better than what was showing on there. Well, when I did it here using a different pump, it came out to be 15.7. So, you know, it's, like I said, 17.6 on the average it showed, and it came out to be 15.7. I think either one would still be considered good, but like I said, it's too subjective to be able to tell exactly unless you use the same exact pump. And my fuel economy may be totally different than somebody else's, you know, for around town and combined. I do want to talk about fuel economy and emissions. A lot of people are asking about fuel economy all the time, and I've had many people come back and talk about, you know, well, why did they go from the V8 to the V6? Well, a couple different reasons. Number one, this new platform, and you may have seen the teasers that have come out on YouTube for the 2023 Sequoia. The Sequoia uses the same platform that you have with the Tundra. So as I mentioned before, they initially wanted to put a V8 in there, but because they're using it for several different vehicles, they needed to put a V6 in there for space, one, but they ended up getting better performance out of the vehicle, and obviously better fuel economy. So the other thing too is that it's a lot less on the emissions than what the V8 was, and I think that had a big deciding factor. I know a lot of people have come on and said, oh yeah, Biden's pushing that. Well, and I'm not out for a political debate, so I'm not even going to really touch on that too much, but it did have a lot to do with emissions as well. I've had several people ask about delays in build date. So I've had people say, well, I've got a truck on order, and you know, it's being delayed a couple times, and I'm seeing that frequently. I think what's going on is, you know, we talk about supply issues. I just mentioned it about the tonneau cover. People are having issues getting the supplies that they need to actually build the vehicles, and anytime that happens, that can lead to a delay in build date. And so if you see a delay or two, don't be alarmed. It doesn't have anything to do with the wastegate issue that people are trying to make it sound like it is, but they do have other supplies. I mean, there's a lot of parts on a vehicle that you know, is not necessarily made by Toyota. I'll give you an example. All these electrical items, you know, your lane departure, your adaptive cruise, your pre-collision system, those are all made by different companies, but they're all spread throughout the industry. So it's not the manufacturer specific to that vehicle that's actually making those. So yeah, that you definitely have some build date issues or delays rather. Price increase. Yes, there has been a significant